listening live to Radio
Cupid. It's 8 p.m. It's Saturday night, and your favorite agony aunt DJs are back to help you with all your love problems. I'm DJ Hart, and she's
DJ Broken. And the truth is, guys, we love love.
Oh,
we love love in all its forms.
Romantic,
platonic,
iridescent,
ecclesiastical,
historic,
esoteric, prehistoric, isometric, familial.
The love you have for a small baby bird.
A small baby bird that's somehow on your lawn, and you think, oh, has it just been knocked out of the nest because the parents want it to learn to fly, or is it out there because it's hurt and it needs me to take care of it and I'll have a real purpose in life for a bit?
The love you still have for your cat, even as it brings in that now dead baby bird.
Oh, the love that you have for two parent birds that were just trying to teach it to fly and are still coming down, feeding it on the lawn, because sometimes you just need that push, don't you? Love in all its forms. And now, in these strange and uncertain times that we live in, we need to celebrate love more than ever. And love is everywhere. Love is all around, and new love is being found, discovered every day, and there is existing love that's being changed and tested by the situations that we are finding ourselves in. So wherever you are watching from, and whatever situation you do find yourself in,
whether you're hunkered down with another partner in a tiny flat,
or whether you're isolating solo,
we're here to solve all your woes and your questions. You can go now, Ben. Thank you. So
we're here to get in the relationship with you and sail it through the sea of love, the choppy waters.
Oh, those choppy waters. I can feel them, DJ Broken. I can feel everyone listening, everyone in the audience, just in the water with me, and we're swimming together, and we're feeling each other's love.
It's like when you swim through a shoal of fish and they're there, but they never quite touch you. That's what our lives are like at the moment. We're all around, we're all in these, forming these beautiful patterns and filling the waves with iridescent colours and flashing light. We just can't physically touch.
Will you hold me like Jack in Titanic?
Would that I could, but I could definitely paint you like one of my French girls. So we'll do that later. Do you know you can do Zoom life drawing classes?
Ooh, that's like
every week, and they're very fun. And if the video pauses, you still, you get a lot out of it, because they're actually sitting stiller than they would be normally. So
I heard a story from someone actually being one of those life models, and said that the camera had frozen, but nobody told them, so they were literally just sat in quite an uncomfortable pose, naked for half an hour. Before they knew.
What time we live in?
Anyway. What time? So audience, please send us your love questions. We're here to solve them. If you've got any special shout outs, love shout outs, whether it's romantic, platonic, for people you're with, you can post them in the chat,
or you can send them via a whisper to the Bristol Improv Theatre over Twitch, which is a private message, so that you could surprise someone with a love shout out.
Surprises are good in this day and age. I know a thing or two about surprising your other half.
Not easy to do, I would imagine, in a one-bedroom flat, DJ Hart.
We literally have 2 rooms to share, so I'm constantly trying to find new ways to surprise them and get the heart racing. Like the other day, I ran into the bathroom while he was in the shower screaming.
Oh,
that gave him a surprise.
And reenacting terrifying scenes from Alfred Hitchcock movies.
Well, he loves film, so it was personalised.
Returning the favour by wandering around the flat in his mother's clothes, saying.
Yep.
He's like bird, which is for some reason the only line that I can now remember from the film Psycho.
Sometimes I say that I've made breakfast and that it's all ready, and then he shows up and it's not there. Surprise!
Have you eaten both portions, or did you just not make it?
I just started watching news, and I got stuck in the news cycle, and then it just didn't happen. So he had to make it. Surprise!
It's good to keep a sort of air of mystery a challenging thing, I think, in such close quarters. But
Yeah.
it sounds like you're finding imaginative ways to keep them guessing.
We're keeping it going. We're keeping it going. So I'm the source of all wisdom for keeping things electric. So throw your questions in, friends. Throw your questions in. So
the high voltage fence.
So that's a little slice of how I'm finding a love lockdown. But hey, DJ Broken, I know that you're currently riding solo. Yes. How's that ride going?
That ride is ride free is what it is, DJ Hart. Like many singletons, I'm finding that when you set quite a lot of store by being an international woman of amore and having a lover in every port, you do spend a lot of time in lockdown just wondering when the international borders are going to be ready to reopen. But I've been channeling a lot of that energy into some self-love in the form of gardening. Getting down the bottom of my old garden,
getting a bit dirty.
I'm getting dirty in the only way that I can, just up to my elbows in the soil, getting out the hoe.
Spreading your seed.
Oh, I'm spreading my wild oats in literally the only way that is now physically available to me. But I've got some lovely tomato plants coming up. Do tell us in the comments and the chat how you're using your frustrated sexual energy to do good in the world during lockdown.
What a powerful force for good. What a powerful force for good. All that misdirected energy
will cure coronavirus together.
I think we've got a shout out, or had a shout out that already came in via our Facebook page. So please do get those shout outs in. I'm gonna read this one out. This is a nice chance to make that special person in your life feel special. And I've got Sunny, who'd like to do a shout out for Matt. She says that Matt made her happy ever since they started playing mini golf. When that was one of their first dates, and she was 20 minutes late because she didn't get off at the right bus stop. I know that feeling. And she also wants to say thank you to Caitlin, aka DJ Hart, DJ Broken.
I think you mean.
That's what I mean, DJ Broken, and Steve for teaching her on the intro to improv course at the Bristol Improv Theatre.
How wonderful! Yes, that is one of my other jobs when I'm not being a love DJ. Oh, well, thank you for sending that in. We've just had another love shout out. Kat Lehman says, shout out to my platonic lover and flatmate Simon, who's working hard on the NHS front line. Well, I think we all owe Simon a love shout out in that case.
That's so lovely. I love that we're getting more love problems in.
Yeah.
This is wonderful.
Let's go. I think we need to cut straight to Wild Mountain Time, who says, my beloved offered to cut my hair. He is bald. What should I do? I think the information that we're missing is where your priorities are. Now, if you care a lot about looking good, I would maybe preserve your hair as it currently is. But if what you're really looking for is a chance to bond, I would take it, because even if you do end up bald, you'll have something else in common.
Yeah, and then you can look like coordinated. I think there's a lot of experimental hair cutting adventures going on at the moment, and it's what better time than to take a little risk with those scissors.
Well, I'm so excited to cut my own hair that I've saved it for my birthday next week, and have decided that I'm going to do it then, because I knew if I started cutting my hair on day one of lockdown, by the end I would just be a skinhead. So I've saved it all this time, and I'm going to treat myself to a self haircut on my birthday. Could end it in disaster.
So lovely. What a way to treat. We've got others coming in. Worlds of Confusions asks, can you get me a date?
Yes.
Well, Worlds of Confusion, yeah. If anyone else is looking for love today, maybe they can post in the chat. We can set you up.
Oh my goodness. And then we have you on the couch for the next Radio Cupid to tell us how your date went.
Yeah.
Let's do that, please. Worlds of Confusion, send us a few things about you so that we can, show us your wares so that we can tell everyone all about you.
Like how old you are.
I love how that's the first one you go to. You're like, look, we're going to get you a date. How old are you?
How old are you? Well, I want to check that they're not like under 18 or something. This is the internet. The internet is a dangerous place. But maybe tell us, if you were an ice cream, what flavour you would be also.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so these are the 3 questions that we need. How old are you? If you were an ice cream, what flavour would you be? Favourite film, and if you could speak one other language, what would it be? Send us those worlds of confusion and we will find you a date. You have my word.
Yeah.
One of the Williams says, what do you do if your loved one is drinking too much white wine? Again, how much is too much white wine?
It's hard to know.
DJ Hart, is this your partner?
Is this my partner?
Yeah.
Is this my partner?
Is there a chance that could just be your partner who
asking the question? I don't know. Is a bottle a day too much? That's the question. No, I'm not making jokes. It's all about moderation, isn't it? It's all about moderation.
Except for love.
And I think, in moderation, a little glass can be quite nice with a meal.
Quite agree.
And a little date with your partner, or on an online date, if that takes your bacon, if that sizzles your bacon.
That sizzles your bacon.
Mm-hmm.
Never heard that one before.
That's one. That's another.
So I think it's time to hear our first love problem that we got sent in advance, which is from Eponine, who's given herself a musical theatre pseudonym, which is a woman after my own heart, of course. So she says, Dear DJ Hart and DJ Broken, so what I had last summer is your classic Eponine, Marius, Cosette situation. For anyone unfamiliar with the musical/novel Les Miserables, just try and keep up. Except that Marius and Cosette are 2 of my best friends. And I told Marius how I felt about him in the same conversation where he basically asked my permission to date Cosette. Brackets, I gave my blessing. She made him so happy. So obviously the friendship dynamic changed, but I tried not to let it get to me. We haven't even mentioned my confession since. And then, like Eponine, I sang A Little Fall of Rain and died. And by that I mean I got so sick that I had to move away. The metaphor kind of ends there because not long after, Cosette and Marius broke up and Cosette moved on, but Marius is still very much hung up on her, which is stressing Cosette out. But what is upsetting me is that he did something with the absolute best intentions, but it broke my trust before I left that seemed to just ruin our friendship. He even said to me that he didn't want our friendship to be over, that he hoped I didn't hate him. I never could. What he did was out of caring for me. But ever since, he only contacts me when he needs something. I want our friendship back, but I don't know if that's even possible anymore. And if by some miracle it is, how do I help it heal? Did I ruin it by telling him about my feelings towards him? And I feel weird because I want to help my friends who are feeling rubbish about this breakup, but I don't know if I'm just too close. Yours, Eponine, Eston.
Oh, I love her use of Les Miserables characters to express this complicated situation.
I mean, the first thing I would suggest is just maybe go back and watch Les Miserables, because our problems are bad, but no one's cutting off our hair, apart from Wild Mountain Time, obviously, and she's doing it for fun reasons, or pulling out our teeth. So it could be worse. You could be Anne Hathaway singing that song on a boat. But this sounds like a real toughie, Eponine. It sounds hard. Really, really, really hard. And I think the thing that stands out for me about this problem is that there's so much love in it. There's the friendship love, there's the romantic love, there's the unrequited love, there's the love between your 2 friends. But the thing that stands out to me is that you all seem to really, really care about each other. And the first piece of advice that I would normally in one of these situations is to communicate and say how you feel, but you're already doing that. You already told him that you liked him, and he asked you before he asked out your friend, which already says to me that you have a lot of care and consideration for each other's feelings. So you don't go into detail about what he did that ruined the trust of your friendship, but you did say that you believe that his intentions were right. And so I think that if you have that as a glimmer of hope, trust is something that, although lost, can be rebuilt bit by bit, but it takes a lot of time. So I would say the best thing to do. Oh, go on.
Oh no, you finish. You finish.
Well, Brené Brown, who, if you haven't heard of, she's our girl. She describes trust as a marble jar, and she describes friendships as being a jar where a marble is put in every single time that a small offer of trust or kindness or gratitude is made, and that friendships break down normally not by one big betrayal of all the marbles being ditched out, but just small things being lost over time. And it sounds like you have a jar that is intact and that could be filled with marbles again. All you need to do is tell him that you want to stay friends and that you would like to keep him in your life, and then see if you can find ways to slowly rebuild trust, but not expect it to all be there straight away.
Yeah. And my big gut was also something I'm a big believer in, is time is a great healer. And maybe if he has broken Eponine's trust, he's broken your trust, Eponine, maybe you just need a bit of time away from that relationship and give it a bit of perspective. Because that can often, and see if you can reach out to friends who you do find really nurturing, and connect with them.
Yeah, one thing I definitely want to address at the end, you want to help your friends who are feeling rubbish about the breakup, but you don't know if you are too close. Only you can figure that one out. I sometimes feel like it's really easy to expose ourselves to these huge passionate relationships and then go away feeling sunburned and sore for days. And if that's how it makes you feel, then just because they are hurting, it doesn't mean that you need to be the one to make them feel better. You have every right to look after yourself for now and just not be that person. And it might be that asserting that boundary is one of the things that allows you to restart a friendship with them on better terms, by not inserting yourself into that situation that feels so painful.
So wise. Should we have a little look at the chat and see what everyone listening is asking and what you think?
Well, Wild Mountain Time is up for experimental baldism. You and Anne have to play both.
Worlds of Confusion worries that they are awkward on all dates, and they're 37.
Excellent.
We do have somebody, a moderator, special magic wizard, wants to go on a date with Worlds of Confusion.
That was quick. And we have an answer. Worlds of Confusion, their ice cream flavour is strawberry. The language they would speak is Spanish, which is very functional. So if those two things are floating your boat, drop us a line and we will put you into a cage match with Special Magic Wizard so that you can fight for World of Confusion's love.
Yes.
That's how dating shows work, right?
Hazery92 mentioned something that I actually read an article about today, is that what they ask, what do the DJs think of the Dutch government's advice to find a lockdown partner? Which is, I read an article today that the Dutch are apparently advising people to find like a sex buddy. Like, that's actually part of their advice. I
whisper sex directly into the microphone. No one else is speaking. There's no hubbub for us to hide behind. If you say sex, we're all gonna hear the word sex. So carry on.
So this is quite a bold thing for a government to advise, right? But I think it's quite cool because, like you were saying, DJ Broken, like intimacy is a very important. It's a basic human need, actually. The other
day, I just put my hands on my own face and was like, oh, imagine if someone else was touching my face.
And
that was too real.
And I know, because we did a call out before the show, we were asking people for their fun dating stories, and some of those dating or love stories, it reminds me of something, one of the responses we did get, if I just get our list up, Nikki, who's in Australia, suggested that one of the most romantic things she did for herself was getting a vibrator in lockdown.
Again, we can all hear you.
I was raised Catholic, and I've left that behind me, but apparently there's still some repression going on here. So Nikki says it's legit the most romantic thing to have happened in my life in years.
That's wonderful, I think, and I commend. I did hear that as soon as lockdown was announced, Zoom, the video conferencing software, the shares went up like a bazillion %, which is presumably how stocks and shares worked. And the price, the sales of online sex toys just went. You also couldn't buy a bag of compost for love nor money. I spent 20 quid on a bag of compost, which I now believe to be 10 times the market value what an idiot.
Oh.
Were there any other fun dating suggestions?
Yes. So this is for like if you're like in the kind of singledom time, you're trying to do that bit of online dating. Well, this particular piece of advice from Jenna is, which I think is applicable for a lot of people really, is watch the TV show Normal People because the sex scenes are incredible. And I can attest for that. I have watched it. I've also read the book where the sex scenes are also incredible. So that could be a nice an activity you could do with a person on Netflix Party. And do some visualization.
Is it visualization if it's actually just visually happening in front of you?
In my head, you were like,
imagine the episode.
Imagining, like you put yourself into the bodies of the actors.
Yeah.
A bit more romantic than watching porn anyway.
Yes. Oh, there was another one here on the dating stories about having a partner read to you. Was that on the list? I seem to remember.
What was that?
I feel like I spotted this earlier. Oh, my boyfriend has been reading to me down the phone because we're separated during lockdown. I love it and I have the best sleeps. It feels very romantic, from Jess. I mean, as someone who has done in the past reading to a partner on long car journeys because I can't drive, so it was like a nice way to contribute. That is lovely. And if you read a book, for example, like Time Traveler's Wife or Lady Chatterley's Lover, where there's some pretty steamy moments, that could get fun. And if no one's driving, then it's also perfectly safe. So.
I love that. My partner and I once read Dr. Seuss poetry to each other in sexy voices.
Do you want to tell us any more about that? Or do you want to
So we were like, I try to remember a Dr. Seuss, but like, ooh, Sam I am Sam, but will I have eggs and ham?
Will I have?
It was actually highly erotic.
Great, let's move on to our next love problem. Now, sorry, DJ Hart, would you like to read this one out?
I would love to read this. So this is our next one, which, this is our next one. Dear DJ Hart and DJ Broken, my boyfriend, brackets, male 27, close brackets, and I, female 25, are moving into a new...
Some of these problems from Reddit relationships.
Yeah, we did.
Public domain love problems.
But we picked them because we felt like they would represent some of the problems we might be getting, people are experiencing out there. We're moving into a new apartment together in 2 weeks. We have been dating for about a year, and neither of us has had a serious relationship before, let alone with an SO, which I believe is an abbreviation for significant other.
Yes, an abbreviation, yes.
Or an abruv, as they say. We hardly ever fight and respect each other's needs and interests. Oh, God love you. Sure, we've had some ups and downs, but we have always come out stronger than ever. I know that communication and honesty is key, and that we should be upfront with each other, especially about things like money and chores. But what else should we be ready for? Do you have any tips or suggestions or any informative anecdotes? Yours, prospective cohabitator, Preston.
Wow.
Great question, and good.
It reads less like a problem and more like showing off to me, because it seems like they've kind of got it made. They are moving in together. They're respectful of each other's needs. They've resolved their conflicts in the past. They're great at listening to each other, and they're completely in love. So,
what's the problem?
I would say no problem. But what I might diagnose from the desire to ask for advice when there isn't a problem is that this person might be a bit of a perfectionist, cohabiter from Preston, maybe so afraid of things going wrong that they are trying to ensure against anything going wrong. And so when you do inevitably get a bit annoyed at each other over something after a long day, it could be an even bigger deal than it needs to be, because you'll have tried so hard to prevent anything from going wrong. And the first thing I would say was that it's just that it happens, and it's impossible to be perfect.
Something I think a sign of quite a healthy relationship is the ability to have disagreements.
Yeah,
actually, and they say communication, honesty. I think it's quite healthy to have some little spats around things that don't matter, like, for example, food or cooking.
The last time I lived with a partner, we got on really well, and to this date, the best flatmate I've ever had. And we lived together for 3 years, and it was fantastic. And he did one thing. We had that drove me absolutely insane. So we had this kitchen living room bit, and the fridge was sort of halfway down the wall in the bit that was the kitchen. And when we moved in, the fridge opened this way, right? And apparently all fridge doors come with this thing where you can move it so it opens the other way. And we moved in, we lived together for a month, and then I went to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival for a month because I am an actor. And when I came back, he'd moved it to the other side so that it now opens sort of towards the kitchen side of the room instead of towards the living room side of the room. And I tried to open it the wrong way for the next 3 years. That first month of had gone in so deep that I never ever got it right the first time. And every single time I tried to open the fridge, I would feel this flash of rage where I'd be like, why? Even though it was such an incredibly sensible and like useful thing to have done. So the truth is, when you live with someone, you will inevitably do something, no matter how nice and considerate, that will piss them off. And I think the important thing is to acknowledge that it's happened. I read an article that said the best thing that you can do, if the best word that saves relationships or something, is just saying ow. If someone says something that hurts your feelings, instead of being like everything's fine, or getting aggressive, like why do you say that, is just to immediately go ow.
That and hurt. Then later surprise them when they're in the shower by running in and screaming.
It's fun.
Hey, DJ Broken, should we have a quick look at the chat and see what
people
say? I'm really desperate to set up Worlds of Confusion. I think I'd love it if we made a little matchmake today. If anyone's just joining us, Worlds of Confusion, we're trying to set up someone in the chat with someone else. We've also got a few more questions coming in. Send Dudes 2020. Hello, DJ Heat. Thank you. I know you just sort of dropped the R out of heart, but I assume that's...
Cat and Heat.
Hello. DJ Heat and DJ Broken, please can you ask if anyone else has had a bath on a first date? We have a high percentage in our house. So is that during lockdown, people have been having baths on their first date? That is very intimate. I've had a bath on a third date before. I assume they're FaceTiming. I assume they're like in the bath and then like, I'm surrounded.
I mean, I just would not trust myself at all. I would, and you shouldn't either, just out of experience of a 12-year friendship at this stage. DJ Hart, never take your phone into the bath with you. Can I just say that now?
Thank you. I need that warning. Fortunately, we only have a tiny shower.
Lucky you.
Hey, so one of the Williams who says they're up for a date with Worlds of Confusion says they are 43, and if they were ice cream, they'd be a tutti frutti.
Never heard of that.
So it's up to Worlds of Confusion whether you.
And the language they would learn is British Sign Language. Pretty cool.
And Hazy92 says, yes, that is what we can accuse Imogen, I think he means DJ Hart, of repression, not oppression. I mean,
you're known for.
Based on my dismissal of my partner earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if I was accused of some oppression. We all got our boundaries.
We have an anonymous question, mostly for DJ Broken, as a fellow single person. How do you get over a relationship that needed to end, but you have some residual feelings about? Yeah, I know all about this one. You know what my advice would be? Don't try and get over it. when my relationship, a long-term relationship of mine, ended, I found that the thing that helped me was to not be in any rush to stop caring about them and loving them. And that felt good, because it wasn't like I think it's really easy to be really hard on yourself. You know, that mania that sometimes comes when you've just come out of a relationship and you want to do loads of stuff and become a really different person and fix yourself and make yourself really attractive and brilliant and go for runs and do yoga and like channel all this energy into something. And it's not always the most nurturing spirit. And sometimes I think it's okay to just let yourself be really sad and still in love with that person for a while and remember the nice things about them, because I think it takes longer, but in the end you always feel grateful for a nicer goodbye. It's like walking down a cliff, walking down a hill instead of jumping off a cliff.
That is a beautiful metaphor. My little thing is, if it's one of those relationships that you left it for important reasons, but you're still in love with them, it's sometimes writing a little letter to yourself that reminds you of why you broke up can stop you from doing things I've done, like get a bit drunk and phone them, or like...
Yeah, I mean, that's the main thing. I would keep it, I would say, don't feel like you're in a rush to get over them, but that's your thing. It doesn't need to be their thing. That makes sense. You don't need to go to them and keep on telling them that you still have feelings for them. Sleep on it. That's what I would always say. If you really, really want to talk to them, sleep on it first.
Hey, Broken.
Yes,
someone suggests for having a date in the bath during lockdown is prop the tablet up in the sink, then it can't fall in the bath.
Depends on where your sink is relative to the bath, because I would not be able to see my phone from there. But this is really a matter of semantics.
And Send Dudes 2020 does confirm that these bath dates were not during lockdown, which disappoints me, because I think that could be quite a fun day. I mean, first date, that is very intense.
Platonic. I've had a platonic bath with a friend that was wonderful. Once we had tickets to see a musical in London, and we had a hotel booked, and we just decided to have a bath in the big fancy hotel bath. It was really
so nice.
Really fun.
I think group naked showers and wash it's kind of gotten it, like people sexualize it, but it's actually quite nice to just be comfortable about bodies, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, before I go into that tangent, but you know, let's get over naked. You know, why are boobies sexy? They're just boobies. It's mammary glands, mate. It's mammary glands. It's a hot day. I just want to get my boobies out. Don't judge me. Do you know what I mean? But apart from that, should we move on to our little segment?
Oh yes, so we have a segment that we're very excited to share with you, that we call Rate a Proposal. We all love proposal videos, and so DJ Hart and I have trawled the internet to find you what we believe to be the best and most romantic online proposals, just in case you really need a good cry mid-lockdown, which I think sometimes it's just like, it's like pressing a valve, isn't it? It's just get it all out. You'll feel drier for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I when I did my research, I got into a bit of a well, and I was just watching flash mob proposal after flash mob proposal and sobbing. And my partner was because I'm on the sofa, he's working at the table, and he's trying to really focus on work, and I'm just going, oh my god, oh. And he's like, what are you watching? And I'm like, a series of proposals. There's no secrets anymore. So he just knows. And I had to explain it was for the show, and that I wasn't just doing some weirdly intense hinting from the other side of the room.
Would you like to show us your top marriage proposal?
I will.
Shortlist, haven't you?
I did a little shortlist because I got carried away. So Ross, if you can, Ross is our magic man behind the scenes, who's amazing and making it all happen. Ross, if you can share my screen.
And Roz of the Bristol Improv Theatre and Wilby Films, who are stage managing and teching this whole affair.
This is just, I'm going to show my little bits of my top three. So this is from Isaac's live lip dub proposal, which if you haven't seen, it will make you cry.
Oh, that's great.
It's he sets his partner up on the back of a van, and all of their friends and family are dancing and lip syncing, and this is the moment that he comes out and proposes to her. Honestly, it's one of the best proposals I think of all time.
That's lovely. I would count myself as having quite a lot of friends. Like, I feel like a popular person, and I don't think I could get that many people to dance about.
I was thinking that, I was like, there are about 30 people, and it's a really coordinated dance routine. There's a lot of coordination going on. This one I really enjoyed. It's a classic flash mob in a restaurant, where he's paid to take over the restaurant. And the interesting thing about it is he gets into prosthetics to disguise himself as a waiter at the start of this flash mob.
Full Mrs. Doubtfire.
So look at this, and then if we skip ahead, he's disguised as a waiter, and then he spills water. Look how he spills the water. That's his partner there, and she's like, "Go away." And then all the staff start singing "Ain't No Mountain High Enough." Oh. They're all singing, and then he comes out and he takes his face off. Yeah, like, I just love the level of commitment. Oh no, I stopped the share. Did that mean I broke everything?
Yeah, we broke everything. Let's come back to your favourite proposal, but I think for now we've got to go into another love problem.
Oh,
got a one.
Yeah.
So I'll be reading this out while you try and figure that one out. Okay. Dear DJ Hart and DJ Broken, I'm from a Greek family. I live in the UK, and my best friend in sixth form and university was an Argentina-born girl named Mariella. So we were very close from age 16 until almost 23, completely platonic, but I value that bond greatly and still do. We kept in touch a lot after she left to work back in Argentina after a year working here. Fast forward to last summer, Mariella is settled and wants me to visit her and hang out. I fly and spend a week in Rosario. We come to the Saturday and my flight back is 2 days away. Lots of detail. Mary never usually struck me as being weird or having weird hobbies. She was generally pretty conservative, not too wild, and my first 5 days in Argentina were normal. Then, on that Saturday, Mary's cousin Anna invited us to a naked party. Like, fully naked. Like, not an orgy, not sexual, but very naked. Anna was saying it's just a thing some friends around her age do, just hanging out nude at a party. So yeah, their culture's a little different. It was really relaxed, a lot of it outside on a really sunny day, and actually I don't know why I'm delving deep into this. I can get to this later if you actually care. I care. Luckily, there weren't cameras aplenty, but there were some casually and low-key. That does mean I was on camera nude at one point. Full honesty, the day was a real struggle for a guy, I can imagine. Seeing Anna nude after years of only seeing her clothed, it almost got me excited. And frankly, I did start to push out slightly, but I thought it was undetectable as it was very slight. There's a group photo I'm in like this, and finally we reached the point. It's been on my mind ever since. Did she notice my excitement? Is it visible in the photo? Could it be damaging our platonic bond that she knows I was pretty attracted to her that day? It could be in the back of her mind in every exchange we've had since. Tell me if you're fine to see the photo and I'll send it over. Yours, semi-erect from Swindon. Now, we haven't got the photo because we ran out of time, but DJ Hart, do you have any initial thoughts on this?
Well, this happens to a lot of men, I understand, in that boners aren't always easy to control. It's a natural phenomenon.
I thought you were about to say that a lot of them go to Argentina and end up at nudist parties. I'm missing out.
Well, a lot of boners.
It's really obvious here is that he's at this nudist party and there's a photo that he's only just seen that he thinks that she's already seen. So I'm intrigued because this happened last summer, so nearly a year ago. And he thinks that if she sees it, she will know it's because he saw her naked, when presumably there were loads of naked people there. Now, if I saw a picture of my friend naked at a party, granted, yes, I would probably look at his penis and notice if he had a semi, but I wouldn't then be like, that's probably because he saw me naked. You know, it's not the first thing I'd go to. So he keeps on saying about how he thinks of her platonically and he doesn't want to damage their platonic friendship. But also, I don't know.
You think he's into her? You think he's into her? Yeah.
She's never mentioned it, and it was a year ago, and he's just realised that there's a photo where he's got like a half a boner, and he thinks that for the last year she's known that he fancies her.
I do really feel for people with the male anatomy in this scenario, because women can be mildly aroused constantly and nobody knows.
Yeah, I am. You know, I'm not. I don't know why I said that. Anyway.
And lovely. All our systems are back up. If you want to return to our proposals segment,
only advice for semi-erect from Swindon is like, don't worry about it, dude. I think she probably would have said something. It's cool.
Yeah.
Send and if you photo when you have.
If you like her, tell her.
Yeah, if you like her, tell her. And if you don't worry about it, man. Everyone gets a bonus sometimes.
Semi-erect from Swindon. I love how frank that is as a name. Gorgeous. So for anyone who's just joining us, we're going through some of our favorite online marriage proposals, and I did share Isaac's live lip dub, and I shared the restaurant one. The one I'm gonna share now is probably my favorite, that I found in this, which is the reason I love it is it's very demonstrative. And it's quite sexy, right? This is a fireman and a helicopter pilot. That is a helicopter you can see in the sky there that she's flying. And the dialogue...
He's flying the helicopter and he's on the ground?
Yeah, he's on the ground with some fire engines.
Cool.
Where you choose to land will be your final answer. These guys are also Swedish as well, which I just love it. And he pops the question on one knee,
If she lands on him, she'll crush him.
I quite like the danger involved. I also love that her helicopter's called Swedecopter, like 93. It's like Swedecopter 93. But look, Caitlin.
Yes or no?
Yeah. And he's made the no really small. And I like how she kind of teases there. She like almost lands on the no, and then she goes for the yeah.
That's adorable.
But there was so much potential danger in this proposal.
Yeah.
The helicopter's really dangerous.
He lost his head.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, does she jump out and run to him?
She does. But she's quite slow.
Well, she's probably got to perform a lot of safety checks just to make sure that, would we respect her if she wasn't a good helicopter pilot? Right. Not in this context, no.
Look, Eleanor,
cool pair. I want to know how they met.
Right? And can you imagine if they have kids? And imagine telling everyone at school that your parents are like a fire person and a helicopter pilot.
Oh, look at that.
Oh my god. I'm trembling all over. So
Me too.
And he's got flowers. So yeah, that was my really top proposal.
That's very good. Okay, I'll take that one. Okay, can you cue mine?
Mm-hmm.
So this one I actually remember seeing and having a good ball at. So this is in 2013, a long time ago. It's in Canada, so same-sex marriage had been legal for a while. So it's at a hockey game. This message was shown, it's cut off for some reason on the YouTube video, but this message was shown on the screen. My love for you is a journey, starting it forever and ending it never. You're my world. Zing, XOXO. I assume that's a joke. So those are the words that everyone in the stadium sees. Her girlfriend's a hockey player and she comes out onto the ice and she's like, oh, damn. She takes her hands. This is very cute, this ice skating business. And what I love about this is you can't hear, but everybody's cheering. She's put the words that she wants everyone to hear on the board for everyone to see. But you can see that there's stuff that she's saying to her that's just for her. It's like the bit at the end of Lost in Translation. And there's that moment of eye contact, down on one knee. That's not easy on ice. Oh.
It is very admirable that neither of them have slipped over.
Yeah, I know.
I'm very impressed.
But I think it's lovely. She's done it in an environment where, she feels safe and in control. And it's too much, isn't it?
Oh, that kid! Oh my god! I know.
And everyone's cheering for them, and it's Canada. And she's wearing a hockey jersey of the rival team, and no one even cares because it's Canada, and people are just chilled out about lesbians and hockey. And
mate, and that lion's happy.
Oh, that line.
Happy lion.
Making it all about him, but whatever.
Yeah. Classic.
Isn't it wonderful?
I love it. I normally hate like public demonstration ones that are like, hello. I did watch some Proposal Fails, DJ Broken as well.
Yeah.
And I watched a lot of like, dudes, let's stop this, but not stop the there. Enough. Enough
love.
Enough love. We've had enough. And a lot of them were people being like, hey, everybody in the near vicinity, come and watch me propose to this person, and then looking really embarrassed and running away.
Oh,
like often they just leg it.
I think because I watched a lot of them as well, and I realized the point that I get uncomfortable is when they do the declaration of love in front of everyone, and this really, really personal, intimate stuff is shared with loads and loads and loads of people. I mean, I assume, and I feel particularly safe because they're lesbians and they've probably moved in together, you know, already 8 years ago and have been talking about getting married for like ever. I'm allowed to say it, don't worry, guys. So you know it's going to be a yes, whatever. It's not like they've just popped the question because they're intense. But it's that point where they say like, ever since I saw you 4 years ago, I knew, and then everyone can hear that, and then that makes me like, oh, it's, you know, it's not private enough. But the fact that she put, you know, what was fairly just romantic but general on the screen, and then she comes out, she speaks in her ear. Oh, that gets me going.
We've had some fun comments come in. Kat Lehman says regarding the helicopter proposal, what a waste of fire brigade resources.
Hasari92 says, my friend was proposed to at uni with a musical society flash dance in the quad. That sounds completely typical of musical societies.
Oh. World of Confusion says, big love Canada.
Yes. Send Dudes 2020 says, I have dated DJ Broken and she is a brilliant date. So there's a recommendation for you in case anyone was wondering.
And one of the Williams says, DJ Hart is also a catch. Why, thanks. I love that our audience are flirting at home. I'm starting to suspect one of the Williams might be my partner in the other room.
I was onto this pretty early on. Worlds of Confusion in Twitch history, I'm technically engaged to both DJ Broken and DJ Hart. Proceed with your jealousy. Yeah,
that did happen. That was during an Ian Towers pianist lockdown concert.
Oh my goodness! Come at the end of this month.
If you haven't seen an Ian Towers concert yet, honestly, it's one of the highlights of my lockdown calendar. Live piano. If anyone
proposed to me, do it through an Ian Towers concert because I'll definitely say yes.
Oh my god, 100%. Like, I want to pre-book him as a wedding pianist if I ever get married, even if it's myself.
Oh my goodness, we're running out of time. Yeah. I think it's time for our
you woo your boo.
I think it's time for another love.
Okay.
I think that we should do another love problem and then we end on We Woo Your Boo. Yeah. How about that? Should we tell them about it?
Foreshadow We Woo Your Boo and end on that. Or Caitlin, DJ.
I think we should tell them about it. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a new game called We Woo Your Boo.
Mm-hmm. So We Woo Your Boo is a chance for you to ask us to make up a beautiful romantic poem on the spot for your boo, for your lover, for a special one. So if you would like to let us know some details of the person you'd like the poem dedicated to, perhaps their name, a hobby, maybe
things that you love about them, any characteristics, physical, personality wise. And so if you're struggling for the words to show someone that you appreciate them, then just send them in to us and we will have a pen handy because we're going to be reeling off some peak poetry for you to woo your boo with.
You're gonna love it. So should we go into the love problem letterbox? Woo! I got another one here. So this is one that got sent in advance. Dear DJ Hart and DJ Broken, I am an art and music teacher who is not particularly savvy when it comes to computers and other tech. I still live with my father, who sorts out all computer, IT, and internet things. I am utterly infatuated with a woman from work. She is single since January and has only ever referred to boyfriends. Ooh. I optimistically assume she is bi, but I do not know, and I'm scared of leading the conversation. Leading the conversation to that would seem like a come on, and since we work together, I can't create any awkwardness. We've been spending more and more time together outside work in the months leading up to lockdown, and although I was too scaredy to ask her out in a date way, I felt like we were developing a closeness, which I was extremely happy about. And I'd even thought, even if it's never more than this, I'm so happy to know her as a friend.
My heart.
I know. When lockdown happened, I was so fed up because I felt that I'd lost all the momentum of my brave attempt to woo her. And, back to my lack of tech knowledge, I was utterly at a loss at how to produce and distribute distant learning content for my pupils. My school had no infrastructure for this. I spoke to her about this, and she started giving me tech support. And while I love the attention and time with her, I still don't understand the tech and just leave all of it to my father. But she doesn't know this, and I continue to create more imagined tech difficulties just to spend time together. Lockdown is... I know, right? This is just perfection. Like sad, but perfection. Lockdown is exacerbating the crush. I have twice dreamt about simply going to the theatre with her, something we had been doing pre-lockdown. Sometimes it feels like such a code red crush. I just want to be over her. I'm sorry this is all muddled. Welcome to my mind. Oh, bless you. If you ever step in my mind, listener.
It's a frantic sea.
Oh, it's wild. I guess there are lots of issues here, but the main one is that I'm bored of tech support chat and I'm struggling to come up with more imaginary tech issues. I want to up the intimacy of our Zoom chats so they can feel more like the time we spent together in the month pre-lockdown. With thanks, from Desperate in Devon. Oh, Desperate, I feel you. I know that feeling of being bisexual and those moments where you're trying to you can't quite tell with a female friend whether it's flirty or whether it's just a close female friendship, because women do I think we flirt a bit more in our friendships, and we're more like, it's hard to know. I joke sometimes that the way you know is you do a little like knee touch. You're like ha 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 ha, because that's like sometimes the indicator for me. But hard to do a knee touch in lockdown. Like, I really feel you. So my advice for you would be, it's remember that in lockdown it's going to feel more amplified because you're not seeing her. And maybe there's a way of doing an online knee touch, i.e. maybe say, oh my god, like I'd love to hang out in a social way, rather than, thank you for all that tech support, would you like to catch up? And maybe just start it as like a social catch up.
Well, I think the thing that you've said is that it sounds like you were spending time together, going to the theatre, having a nice time together, building a friendship, and you said that you'd be happy in the first place with a friendship because you just enjoy spending time with her. And it sounds like that's the case in both directions. And so you should it's really easy when you have this romantic question to make it all about that. But if you're enjoying spending time together and you like each other and you get on, then don't be afraid to just ask her to hang out, to watch a film on Zoom together, or to do something that isn't tech support. Just invite her, and it doesn't need to be about whether or not it's a date or whether or not what her sexuality is. If you are craving spending time together, talking about things that would feel nourishing and fun, then just ask for that in the purest simplicity of asking for that moment. It doesn't have to be asking for a date or asking for more.
Yeah.
And then get in the bath, prop your laptop in the sink, and get naked and get in the bath. Don't do that. Sorry.
Wonderful advice, DJ Broken. Get in the bath. Sorry, I missed that last one because I started reading chats. Did you say get in the bath as a first date?
It's all about listening and communication. Stay with me.
I'm checking in with some of our chat, and we've got a lot of love for Ian Towers going on from
always
one of the Williams, Wild Mountain Time. Hazier92 says Ian will upstage everyone at any wedding.
Yeah.
Which is true.
They won't let him wear white.
One of the Williams is asking someone is asking someone to marry you over stream chat an acceptable proposal, asking for a friend.
I think it would depend entirely on the individual. DJ Hart?
I don't know. No, I don't think that's a good thing to do.
Loud and clear there.
I don't think that's a good thing to do. But it wouldn't be the worst thing that's ever happened on Twitch, says Hazy92.
Here's some actually really strong advice from Mobile Bear Done It. Ask if she's missing, for Desperate from Devon, ask if she's missing Eurovision. Eurovision is queer culture. Yeah. That's an indicator. I mean, as a bisexual woman who's absolutely never enjoyed Eurovision, there, I said it. There are obviously outliers, but it's a great conversation. I know we don't discuss this, DJ Hart, because I knew how angry it would make you, but I'm not into it.
I never knew that. I'm not into it. That the Eurovision party you came to of mine back in...
didn't do I wouldn't have been there. No,
was that Priya's?
I avoid them. I tell everyone I'm going to a different one and then I spend the night on my own.
My God. You are missing out on a really important piece of queer and camp culture. There is so much. If anyone needs a nice laugh tonight, Ukraine 20... it's Verka Serduchka, Ukraine, I want to say 2012, is one of the greatest Eurovision performances of all time. Verka Serduchka. Look him up. It's just brilliant. And
Tell
very
you what
queer.
I've been doing as a lockdown activity, learning the placement of all of the countries of Europe, and I can do them all on a map now. And I also started doing capital cities. So now would be a better time than ever for me to watch Eurovision, but luckily for me, it's cancelled this year, so I still don't have.
We have an entry for our improvised poem.
Amazing.
Wild Mountain Time. Would love a poem to be dedicated to Tim, who is bald and loves cheese and bird watching.
Oh.
So
a couple of couplets for you then. Wild Mountain Time. Yeah. Oh Tim, I do not care that you do not have any hair. It gives me such a massive rush when I see you spotting a spotted thrush.
I would tell you everything if I could dare. The idea of being without you, oh God, I camembert.
Your tone is lively, jovial and jocular, standing there with your pair of binoculars.
From all the world, it's with you I'd love to be free. Just be with me, soft and delicious, just like Brie.
With you, my man, I could never be bored because you're strong and tangy like Roquefort.
And so, as I shoot you with the bow and Cupid's arrow, sing to me, sweet Tim, as if you were a sparrow.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh.
Worlds of Confusion asks, can you write a poem for the injured white pigeon that is in our garden? We ended up building a pen for him to protect him from the cats, hoping he'd get better and fly away. I fear it won't leave. Oh, so a poem for a pigeon in a pen. Do you want to kick this one off?
Yeah. Sweet little pigeon, it's you I want to woo. So I'm gonna open my window and give you a coo-coo.
If you love something, they say, let it go, but you don't want to go. Oh no, no, no. But if I could do just one small thing, it would be to heal your injured wing.
Oh, beautiful. I hope that nourishes you, little pigeon. I'm mindful of the time, DJ.
Oh yeah, we need to start wrapping this party up. Do we have time for one more poem?
Huh?
No, we don't.
I love...
Oh, but Berridge loves your puns.
I read that. I also read Rowan Brooke T. You are both so good at getting to the core of everyone's problems, and your advice is heartfelt and thoughtful. That is such lovely feedback. Thank you, Rowan.
And P. Rogers says you could ask her to watch a queer film and then use that to segue into that conversation. This all could be good advice. I know personally it would make me feel incredibly anxious if I was holding all of these queer signifiers in my head, and I'd be like, wow, God, did you catch Gentleman Jack last night on the telly? Because I was just reading Fingersmith, and then I realised that Pride was on the other channel. Have you ever been to a Welsh mining village and tried to sing them because with a charity rock concert? That would do me.
It is, yeah.
I think you should just spend time with her, learn everything about her, and yearn, because that is the Women Who Love Women way.
A little rainbow pin.
Little rainbow pin.
I have a little rainbow pin. Couldn't help. Oh my gosh, what an amazing evening. I've been so nourished by everyone asking us your questions. I hope some of what we've said has been helpful. I hope we've made you laugh, lightened up your evening. It's been a delight, DJ Broken. I feel so nourished. I don't know about you.
I've had a great time.
And if you are looking for more entertainment online, the Bristol Improv Theatre is putting shows out every Friday and Saturday.
Next week, you can see the improvised Dungeons and Dragons show, Tales of Adventure, and Saturday we've got You've Got to Be Quizzing Me with some special guests all the way from the Hideout Theatre in Austin, Texas.
Oh, I love them. I love them. That is so exciting. I want to say a big thank you to our behind the scenes magic people, Ross and Roz, who are working their bums off. They've done amazing work, especially midway through. I made our screen disappear and they just solved it. They're amazing. If you've enjoyed tonight, please do pay what you can to our donation for the theatre. That's keeping the theatre's activities doing, putting shows together like this during lockdown, and do follow the Twitch stream.
Follow the Bristol Improv Theatre on Twitch, and you will get a notification whenever the Bristol Improv Theatre goes live, which is normally about half an hour before the show starts, giving you enough time to find yourself a large glass of wine and a bag of chips or something before you settle down to join us to talk about love or Dungeons and Dragons, or generally have a laugh, whatever we're doing, to get through a night in these funny times. But how wonderful it is that we can keep coming together in this way.
So I've been DJ Hart. She's been
DJ Broken, and this was Radio
Cupid.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again. Take care.
Bye-bye.